Monday saw the second and final night of this year's WWE draft. A draft so conclusive, with rosters so distinctly separate, we have 2 interbrand matches scheduled for Friday, the interpromotional Survivor Series next month, and 2 wrestlers in the draft pools that were never drafted. Somehow an afterthought to Dabba Kato, Arturo Rouse, and Titus O'Neil, former NXT and United States champion Andrade still didn't have a brand after Monday's Raw, implying that nobody wanted one of the best wrestlers on the entire main roster. Instead, he and ex-manager Zelina Vega were attacked by The Fiend and Alexa Bliss. But while Vega was drafted to SmackDown in the post-show picks, Andrade remained a free agent. Unfortunately, scrapping hopes he might be returning to NXT, PW Insider is reporting Andrade will be staying on Raw, along with Mickie James, who was also undrafted. But all hope might not be lost, as some interesting deleted tweets could mean WWE actually has huge plans for him. Because if anyone can make Vince McMahon see value in Andrade, it's the Omni Flare. Following Monday's Raw, Andrade posted in a since-deleted tweet, "Thank you, gracias, tres fist emojis," which translates into English as thank you, 3 fist emojis. Uncharacteristically of the platform, this led Twitter users to wild speculation, thinking this was Andrade rage-quitting WWE, or maybe even posting about problems with his real-life fiancée Charlotte Flair. And uncharacteristically of a wrestler on Twitter, they engaged and then deleted their response. Flair replied explaining Andrade was thanking Zelina, Yow Wild, with their longtime act now broken up with him on Raw and Vega on SmackDown, and then teasing, "That said, Pappy will need a new manager." Smiling face with sunglasses on emoji. Charlotte was a round 1 pick on Monday night, despite being out of action since July to undergo surgery on her breast implants. Reports at the time said she might not return until the Royal Rumble, although if there were good enough plans, she'd come back for a Survivor Series feud. Do you want to see Charlotte and Andrade as a power couple faction in WWE? Let me know in the comments down below, because I'll be replying to people from outer the Omni Charade Flair. Also, please super kick that subscribe button, folks, and enable notifications to always on for daily wrestling news updates, like Lukewarm Luke Owens' every draft trade ranked video later today. Now, before we get on with the rest of the news, I'd like to say a big thank you to this episode's sponsor, Surfshark VPN. But what is a VPN, you might ask? It's a virtual private network, which means your smartphone, laptop, tablet, whatever can trick the internet into thinking it's somewhere else. Where are you, Luke?
Well, my laptop thinks I'm in America, where I'm watching US Netflix, which is way better than the UK one, but I'm actually in West London.
And you, Pete?
Even though
I've run out of time for Pete. But for you, yes, you, I'll bet you've got loads of time right now. So get yourself Surfshark VPN using our special links below, because then you'll have access to an entire world of content by kicking geo-blocking in the butt. And for all our American viewers, you can use it to access BBC iPlayer to watch all our ridiculously short-lived comedy series. How have we only got 14 episodes of The Office? Make sure to use our promo code WrestleTalk too, because that gets you a massive 83% off and 3 months free, meaning 2 whole years will cost you under $60. Surfshark are really helping support us here at WrestleTalk during these hard times, so please click the link below to at least check them out. 2 other big names in the draft, like literally big, as in their hams are the size of your entire body, are social media extraordinaires Lars Sullivan and Braun Strowman, with Strowman being traded to Raw and Sullivan making his return on SmackDown after over a year out from injury and pestering women on Instagram. And the reason behind them being moved to opposing brands is reportedly to build to a monster versus monster match in a year's time. Dave Meltzer noted on Wrestling Observer Radio that WWE is putting the pieces in place for a freak versus monster among men clash in a year or so, keeping them apart to make their eventual clash more impactful, which will put it around next year's draft, with them maybe being traded to the same brand to feud, or an interpromotional clash at Survivor Series 2021. With plans and ideas this far in advance, you'd assume that series would carry through the Royal Rumble to climax at WrestleMania. While hearing year-long plan and WWE in the same sentence might make you scoff, Vince McMahon is capable of long-term booking when he wants to. The Rock vs. John Cena was a WrestleMania match announced a year in advance, and he booked Roman Reigns' uprising against Brock Lesnar for over a year. If you're literally big enough, which Braun and Lars undoubtedly are, then the chances of WWE following through are significantly higher. Or it could go the way of The Fiend versus Roman Reigns. Making it too bad Hell in a Cell's for The Fiend, original backstage plans had Wyatt to face Reigns for the Blue Universal Championship at next Sunday's Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, with Wyatt even starting that feud by introducing the wobbly walrus puppet in his Firefly Funhouse, mocking Roman's assistant to the tribal chief Paul Heyman. It had already been reported the feud was being dropped in favour of Roman's much more personal heel arc with the Usos, and The Fiend was awkwardly moved into a brief filler feud with Kevin Owens, which was also split up by the draft. WrestlingNews.co is reporting as the draft gave away that plans for the Reigns vs. Fiend match, which had previously been booked as far back as Survivor Series 2019, has been postponed yet again. Instead, The Fiend and his twisted sister Alexa Bliss could feud with Eva Marie. Cultaholic initially reported on Monday that ex-WWE star Marie was set to return to the company imminently. That obviously didn't happen on the final night of the draft, but PW Insider has now added she was actually backstage at the show undergoing medical tests. Apparently Marie and WWE had agreed on a contract almost a month ago, but it's unknown whether she's returning as a wrestler, manager, or some kind of pre-show pundit. Marie had previously wrestled for WWE from 2013 to 2017. Maybe that's what Raw is missing in those all-important ratings, with this week's draft episode pulling in more than usual at 1.85 million, but that's got to be considered a disappointment, with draft shows typically ranking amongst the most viewed episodes of the year. Now here's everything else happening in wrestling news. Thanks for your support on Patreon. The roller coaster, Robert Acosta. Raw inexplicably decided to draft a faction whose sole purpose it is to destroy shows, Retribution, to their roster in their round 3 picks on Monday, above Aleister Black. Despite having their leader unveiled as Mustafa Ali the week before though, Monday's episode showed several warning signs for the faction's future. Firstly, Mercedes Martinez was unceremoniously dropped from the faction, possibly returning to NXT, and then Ali's big heel turn explanation promo was scrapped last minute, despite being heavily advertised in advance. Ali did his best to kayfabe the situation, pretending this was all a way to instill in us the frustration he's felt for years, but in truth, the Retribution faction is an inconsistent mess of members and tone, which has led to their characters' Twitter accounts to behave like real people instead of kayfabe forces of chaos. Despite having her own Mia Yim Twitter account, Mia blasted a fan as her Retribution Reckoning character yesterday. I blocked you because you are obsessive with Shayna in an unhealthy way, homophobic, tell fit women they look like men, you're trash and obsessed, and I'm blocking you here. Get the hint, leave Shayna, Dakota, Jessamine, and I alone. While trolls most definitely suck, and Retribution's Twitter game has been built around calling them out, this isn't consistent with their on-screen characters and conduct. This is just another example of the faction's lack of direction. Fightful is reporting a bidding war has broken out between WWE and AEW over UK standout Ben Carter, who impressed in a match against Scorpio Sky last month. Apparently WWE are making a big play to add him to their NXT UK roster. He also recently appeared on Impact wrestling Chris Sabin. Ivelisse, meanwhile, has confirmed to Pro Wrestling Junkies she has officially signed with AEW after debuting for them back in July. In that same interview, she addressed Fightful's claim her recent Dynamite match with Thunder Rosa became a shoot, saying we can put 2 and 2 together, that me being the vet within the equation, and also with the fact that I don't take people trying to disrespect me. Maybe that's what happened to Natalya in the #1 Contenders Battle Royal on Monday's Raw, who tweeted Lacey Evans knocked out her tooth. And in douchebag news, a court date of January 25th, 2021 has been set for former WWE star Alberto Del Rio, who was indicted by a grand jury for aggravated kidnapping. If he's found guilty, he could be facing life in prison. And Joey Ryan has sued Impact Wrestling for $10 million, claiming they breached his contract when they fired him back in June after multiple speaking out allegations against him. The contract was originally meant to expire in August next year. Ryan has also filed lawsuits against his accusers and has denied all allegations. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got to prepare, because today at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific and 9 p.m. UK time, my arch nemesis Lukewarm Luke Owen and I will defend our QuizzleMania Tag Team Championships. How will we coexist against the Good Brothers, Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows? Click the QuizzleMania video on the right now to know when we go live, and give Parts for Known a subscribe too. And Lars Sullivan reportedly has major backstage heat from the other wrestlers. Click the video down below that to find out more. Remember to download Surfshark VPN using our special discount links below, as it's genuinely amazing. I've been Mr. Davis. Wish us luck. Jam that jam.